In 2019, a Lego survey asked American and British children what they wanted to be when they grew up. The top answer wasn't doctor, engineer, or even astronaut. 29% of them wanted to become YouTubers. The astronaut number? Just 11%. And that makes sense. We're living in the era of what's called the creator economy, an industry that Goldman Sachs predicts could approach $500 billion by 2027, where anyone can turn their passion into a profession. At least, that's what they tell you. But Jack Conte, CEO of Patreon and a musician, has a different story. He once created a music video that got 1 million views on YouTube. How much did he make? Just a few $100s. He wondered, how is this still happening? Or Hank Green, a YouTuber with millions of followers. When he moved to TikTok, he and many other creators reported that the platform's creator fund only paid about 2 to 4 cents per thousand views, meaning roughly $20 to $40 for a million views.
Over a year now, I'm currently making around 2.5 cents per thousand views.
This is the story of an industry that promised creative freedom, but is slowly devouring the very people who built it. This is the story of how the creator economy is eating itself. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to 2007. At that time, YouTube, a platform just 2 years old, launched the Partner Program. For the first time, ordinary users could share ad revenue from the videos they uploaded. The message was simple. If you create content that people want to watch, you'll get paid. This was a revolutionary idea. For centuries, if you wanted to make a living from art or creativity, you needed a record label, a publisher, or a studio. Now, all you needed was a camera and an internet connection. And people believed it. The first generation of YouTubers, Smosh, Nigahiga, and many others, began turning passion into real careers. By 2008, Kevin Kelly, a technology writer, published an essay called 1,000 True Fans. His idea was simple: an artist doesn't need millions of fans. They just need 1,000 loyal fans, each willing to spend about $100 a year. And with that, you could make a living. In 2013, Patreon turned this theory into reality. The platform allowed fans to directly support creators they loved with monthly contributions. It grew rapidly. Suddenly, artists, musicians, podcasters all had a way to earn stable income, completely bypassing the big companies.
Patreon, so from our perspective, speaking strategically as a company, we don't consider ourselves to be like a marketplace. We're not mitigating the relationship between fans and creators. So we're not, for instance, Facebook. They have a feed, and Facebook's engineers are building algorithms to figure out what stuff should we put in which people's feeds, and they're building personalization algorithms and content consumption, tools and things like that. Patreon doesn't do any of that. We're not in the game of helping a fan find stuff to like and listen to and watch and enjoy. That's not our strategy. Our strategy is to build business tools for creators.
By the end of the decade, this ecosystem had flourished. In 2019, YouTube announced impressive growth numbers in large channels and high-earning creators. Susan Wojcicki, YouTube's CEO at the time, said, "Creators are the heart of YouTube. Everything seemed to be going in the right direction. And then COVID-19 happened. With billions of people stuck at home, demand for online entertainment exploded. TikTok surpassed 2 billion downloads in 2020. Twitch, Instagram, YouTube all recorded record growth. According to Signal Fire's estimate, by 2020, the number of people identifying as creators had exceeded 50 million. Investors took notice. Capital flowing into creator economy-related startups surged. Platforms competed to attract creators. In July 2021, Facebook announced $1 billion in bonuses for creators. TikTok committed $1 billion to its creator fund in the US. YouTube shared billions with content creators. This was the peak, the golden age of the creator economy. A generation of young people looked at this and thought, "This is the future. This is my path." But like all bubbles, it couldn't last forever. But even as things were rising, there were warning signs. In 2016, Facebook made a major announcement. Their algorithm would prioritize video over other types of content. The reason? Their data showed users were spending more time watching videos. The message to publishers was clear. If you want to reach readers, make videos. And media companies believed it. Mike, Vice, MTV News, all pivoted to video. They fired staff writers to hire video production teams. Hundreds of people lost their jobs based on the promise that video was the future. But by late 2018, the truth was revealed. Facebook admitted they had errors in how they calculated video watch time. In a class action lawsuit, publishers alleged Facebook had inflated the metrics by 150% to 900%. Facebook settled for $40 million without admitting to the specific inflation levels. But the damage was done. Hundreds of journalists had lost their jobs based on faulty data. Many digital publications never recovered. Raju Narasetti, a former news director, later commented, "Platforms often throw money around to entice content creation they lack, like video. But don't be naive to think it'll become a long-term business model." But this wasn't the only incident. In 2017, YouTube faced its own crisis. Several major brands discovered their ads were appearing next to extremist content and hate speech. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Walmart all pulled their advertising from the platform. YouTube's response? They tightened monetization policies almost immediately. Thousands of videos were demonetized, their ability to earn money shut off. The problem was, the algorithm couldn't distinguish between harmful content and legitimate content. Creators covering current events, history, even education were affected. Overnight, their income plummeted. The community called this event the adpocalypse.
This weird situation is where we're at when a few weeks ago, some inflammatory articles are posted about how major brands are being advertised on top of very vile YouTube videos. A bunch of advertisers fearing backlash removed their ads entirely from YouTube, and during this period, every YouTuber saw a decrease in revenue.
And this was the first painful lesson many creators learned. When you build your livelihood on someone else's platform, they can change the rules at any time. No advance notice, no apology. But this was just the beginning. What came next was far worse. But perhaps the biggest problem wasn't the instability. It was how the system actually works. In October 2021, Twitch, the world's largest live streaming platform, was hacked. Hackers leaked payment data for thousands of streamers. And for the first time, people could see the real numbers. The result? The top 1% of streamers received more than half of all money Twitch paid out. Top streamers made nearly $10 million over 2 years. But to earn the median US salary, about $67,000, you needed to be in an extremely small group at the top of the platform. To put this in perspective, there are tens of thousands of streamers on Twitch, but only a tiny fraction make enough to live on. OnlyFans also showed an extremely skewed income distribution model. The vast majority of creators earned very little, while a small group at the top received most of the income. And if you think the problem is just with smaller platforms, look at YouTube and TikTok. YouTube operates on a revenue sharing model. Creators receive about 55% of ad revenue. YouTube keeps 45%. But actual income varies greatly depending on content type, market, and season. TikTok, previously, their creator fund paid from a fixed pool, not sharing a percentage of ad revenue like YouTube. The commonly reported rate was about 2 to 4 cents per thousand views. That's a huge gap compared to YouTube. And view distribution is also extremely concentrated. A small number of the largest channels receive most of the views, while the vast majority of creators are virtually invisible. So what determines who's in the top tier? Talent? Hard work? Content quality? Not exactly. It's the algorithm. Each platform has a complex system that decides which content gets recommended, who gets seen, and who gets buried. And these algorithms change constantly. A creator can get millions of views one month, then drop to thousands the next without knowing why. This isn't an economy based on value. This is an economy based on luck. A casino where a few win big and most keep playing hoping the next round will be different. And the worst part? Things are about to get even worse. (2021) and 2022 marked the moment when everything started falling apart. In June 2021, Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, posted a video declaring, "Instagram is no longer a photo-sharing app. The platform would prioritize video, specifically Reels, to compete with TikTok." For millions of photographers and creators who had built careers on Instagram, this was a shock. Even Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, two of the most influential people on the platform, posted in protest, "Make Instagram Instagram again." But Instagram didn't back down. The algorithm changed. Photos were pushed down. Video was prioritized. And once again, creators had to adapt or disappear. 2 months later, in August, an even bigger scandal erupted. OnlyFans, the platform where millions of creators made a living from adult content, announced they would ban pornographic content starting in October. CEO Tim Stokely explained, "We had no choice. The short answer is banks." It turned out that banks like JP Morgan and BNY Mellon had refused to process transactions for OnlyFans due to reputational risk concerns. The community's reaction was fierce. Millions of creators faced losing their livelihoods with just one announcement. After 6 days, OnlyFans reversed the decision, announcing they had received assurances from banking partners. But the damage was done. Trust was shaken. The message was clear. Platforms can turn their backs on you at any time for any reason. And in 2022, things got worse. In March, Meta announced it was ending the Reels bonus program on Facebook and Instagram. YouTube reduced bonuses for Shorts. Snapchat ended the Spotlight program. All at once, platforms that had been burning money to attract creators simultaneously shut off the tap. But it wasn't just the big platforms. Startups, once hailed as the future of the creator economy, were also struggling. In April, Cameo, the app that lets fans buy personalized video messages from celebrities, laid off 25% of staff. In September, Patreon, the platform Jack Conte built as a solution to creators' income problems, laid off 17% of its workforce, about 80 people. Conte had to go on Twitter to reassure, "Patreon is fine, we have enough money." And then there was crypto. Throughout 2021 and early 2022, hundreds of influencers promoted cryptocurrency and NFTs to their fans. They promised this was the future, an opportunity to get rich. In November 2022, FTX, one of the largest crypto exchanges, collapsed. Millions of people lost money, and the influencers who promoted it, they faced a wave of fierce backlash. Logan Paul, a YouTuber with tens of millions of followers, was heavily criticized for the Crypto Zoo project, an NFT game that promised players could make money easily, but turned out to be a complete failure.
Some of you guys think you know the story, but it goes so much deeper. I've uncovered sociopaths, billionaires, fake orphans. Did I mention fake orphans? And of course, at the center of it, we have Logan Paul himself, who has abandoned this thing, leaving thousands of fake...
A pattern became clear. Platforms and influencers were both chasing short-term profits, regardless of long-term consequences. And each time, creators and their audiences were the ones who paid the price. The creator economy wasn't just shaking, it was devouring itself. But perhaps the greatest cost of the creator economy isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in people. In 2023, a survey asked thousands of professional influencers about their experiences. 59% admitted they were experiencing burnout at a severe level. 58% said their mental health had been damaged by this work. For outsiders, this might be hard to understand. They're doing what they love, right? They're creating content, building community, making money from passion. Isn't that the dream? But reality is far more complex. One creator described it like this: being a content creator is like being a hamster on a wheel. You stop running, you become irrelevant. The system is designed to keep creators constantly producing. Every day without posting is a day the algorithm might forget you. Every week, absent could mean losing thousands of followers. The pressure never stops. And the public is starting to realize this too. In 2023, a meme went viral on social media. It showed an image of someone in a mascot costume, smiling brightly on the outside. Inside, a face crying. The caption, "Influencers pretending everything is awesome while mentally crashing." It spread quickly because it was true. But the problem doesn't stop with creators. Audiences are also losing trust. Another survey showed over 50% of viewers doubt the authenticity of sponsored content from influencers. Undisclosed advertising has become too common. Brands ask creators not to label sponsorships so content looks more natural. And many creators, needing money, agreed. The result? A generation of skeptical audiences. They don't know what's real and what's paid. Trust, the foundation of this entire economy, is being eroded. So we have a system feeding millions of exhausted creators, chasing algorithms relentlessly, while their audiences increasingly doubt everything they say. This isn't a sustainable economy. This is a system consuming itself. So when the dust settles, who actually benefits from all of this? The answer is simple: the platforms. According to eMarketer, global digital advertising revenue reached about $455 billion in 2021. Dentsu predicts this will reach $513 billion by 2025. Most of this money goes to 3 companies: Google, Meta, and ByteDance. YouTube keeps about 45% of ad revenue before sharing with creators. TikTok previously paid from a fixed fund rather than sharing a percentage of revenue. Millions of people create content for free, or nearly free, and the platforms rake in billions. Then there are the superstars. Mr. Beast made $54 million in 2021, according to Forbes. Now he has his own company, his own product line, and is valued in the billions. Charli D'Amelio, the first TikToker to reach 100 million followers in November 2020, makes millions every year, but not from TikTok, from brands, advertising deals, TV shows. For these people, the system works great, but there are exceptions. According to Goldman Sachs estimates, only about 4% of creators are considered professional, with income over $100,000 per year. The other 96%? They live below that. Many earn less than minimum wage. The middle class of the creator economy, people who used to be able to make a decent living, has nearly disappeared. Content saturation, combined with algorithms favoring those already big, has made breaking through nearly impossible. And then there are the clear losers. Traditional journalism has lost audience and revenue to millions of creators. Many publications have closed. Those remaining have had to adapt in ways that erode their original mission. But perhaps the biggest loser is the audience itself. Jesse Uram, a digital strategist, wrote in 2023, "Social media has now become a passive experience, like TV, rather than the vibrant creative space it once was." And he's right. Average content quality has declined. Misinformation spreads faster than truth. Undisclosed advertising is everywhere. Algorithms prioritize what's shocking, controversial, or addictive, not what's valuable. We were promised a creative revolution, a world where anyone could share their voice and be rewarded fairly. But what we got is a system that enriches a few, exhausts most, and leaves all of us with a digital space that's noisy, chaotic, and increasingly hard to trust. By 2023, the signs could no longer be denied. The bubble had burst.
Influencer fatigue is at an all-time high. People are sick and tired of being sold to and of all of the unrelatable content filling up their feeds. And creators and brands alike are really starting to feel a shift. As a full-time influencer myself, I will admit that I've been pretty resistant over the past few years to all of the claims that influencing.
In March, Meta officially ended the Reels bonus program on Facebook and Instagram. This wasn't an adjustment, this was the end. The money-burning war to win creators was over, and the platforms decided who won.
I regret to inform you all that Meta is ending the Reels Play bonus program for Instagram and Facebook. I've met a lot of you who may not know, the Reels Play bonus program was a $1 billion creator fund that Meta was bringing to Facebook and Instagram for creators to post short form.
But perhaps the clearest sign came from an unexpected place. Artificial intelligence. Lil Miquela, a virtual influencer with about 3 million followers, continued to land major advertising contracts. No burnout, no scandals, no salary required. For brands, this is an attractive proposition. Why pay a real influencer with all the risks involved when you can create a perfect, controllable person? For creators, this is an existential threat. In December 2023, TikTok announced they would completely shut down the Creator Fund. Replacing it was the Creativity Program, a new program paying more but with higher requirements. This was a silent admission. The old model had failed. And the numbers tell the story. Creator growth peaked in 2022 and began to stall. Headlines in 2024 and 2025 were clear. The creator economy is ending. The silent collapse of the creator economy. But this isn't quite an ending. Rather, it's a transformation. A new term has begun to emerge. Builder economy. The idea is simple. Instead of chasing algorithms, instead of depending on platforms, creators should build sustainable things. Their own products, their own services, their own communities that they own. Some have already started doing this. They're building their own websites, their own newsletters, their own media channels. They're learning to separate themselves from the volatility of social media algorithms. But for millions of others, those who spent years building on someone else's land, it's too late. The golden age of the creator economy has ended. Not with a bang, but with a collective, exhausted sigh. So is the creator economy dead? Not exactly, but it's transforming into something else. If there's one lesson from recent years, it's this. Never build your entire livelihood on someone else's land. David Dobrik, a YouTuber who survived Vine's collapse, once said, "Vine died, I had to move to YouTube." You can't trust that any platform will be there forever, so bring your fans with you. And that's exactly what the smartest creators are doing. They're building what's called owned media, channels they control, their own website, their own newsletter, their own podcast, their own products, communities that don't depend on any platform's algorithm. Lee Jin, an investor who has written extensively about the creator economy, said, "We need to build a middle class for creators, instead of just a few superstars and countless people struggling. And that could be the future. Not a system where millions compete for views, but a system where thousands can make a decent living by serving small but loyal communities." Remember the 1,000 true fans theory from 2008? Perhaps it's time to return to it. At the beginning of this video, we talked about Jack Conte, a video with millions of views, just a few $100s, and creators like Hank Green reporting extremely low payouts from TikTok. Now you understand why these numbers matter. They expose a system designed to exploit creative labor while concentrating wealth in the hands of a few. But it also points to a path forward. The creator economy isn't ending, it's just being forced to evolve. And perhaps, in the process, it will become something closer to the original promise, a place where creativity is truly rewarded fairly. But that won't happen naturally. It will require creators to learn to protect themselves, and it will require the rest of us, as audiences, to ask who really benefits from what we watch, share, and consume every day. If you're a creator or thinking about becoming one, Remember this: be careful what platforms promise. Build on a foundation you control. And always bring your audience with you. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more analysis on technology and society. And let me know in the comments, where do you think the creator economy will go in the next 5 years? Thank you for watching. See you next time. Go.